What is climate change? Climate change is a global challenge that has no borders, and to combat it, requires coordinated work by all countries. Many people do not know what it really amounts to, either due to unreliable sources or deliberate misinformation, which has led to a series of myths about climate change. In these videos, we tackle the subject from an objective, scientific viewpoint, discussing the causes and consequences of climate change and how it should be tackled. First, we need to clarify two concepts often mistaken for synonyms: climate change and global warming. There is an important difference between them, however, given that it is global warming that causes climate change. As the planet's temperature rises more than it would naturally, the climate varies. Although it is certain that Earth has naturally warmed up and got colder during other eras, such cycles have always been much slower, taking millions of years, whereas now, within a period of just 200 years, we are reaching levels that in the past brought about extinctions. What are the causes and consequences of climate change? The main cause of climate change is global warming, which has many negative consequences on physical, biological and human systems, as well as other effects. Global warming is caused by the greenhouse effect, a natural process by which the atmosphere retains some of the sun's heat, allowing the Earth to maintain the necessary conditions to host life. Without the greenhouse effect, the average temperature of the planet would be -180 degrees Celsius. The problem is that daily human activities maximize the greenhouse effect, causing the planet's temperature to increase even more. When did humans first begin to cause climate change? Experts agree that the Industrial Revolution was the turning point when emissions of greenhouse effect gases entering the atmosphere began to soar. The Industrial Revolution was itself born out of smaller revolutions: agricultural, technological, demographic, transport, finance, creating a new model of production and consumption. From then onward, population growth. In 1750, there were fewer than 800 million people on Earth, whereas now we are over 7.5 billion. Exploding resource use, increasing energy demand and production, mainly from fossil fuels, all saw the planet enter into what the scientific community have termed the Anthropocene period, a new geological era characterized by human impact on Earth. The main impact was the increase in the global temperature of the planet, which has risen 1.1 degrees Celsius since this period, although it is estimated that, by the end of the present century, the thermometer could rise by 2.7 degrees Celsius even if national commitments to reduce emissions are fulfilled. The global temperature increase brings disastrous consequences, endangering the survival of the Earth's flora and fauna, including human beings. The worst climate change impacts include the melting of the ice mass at the poles, which in turn causes rising sea level, producing flooding and threatening coastal environments through which small island states risk disappearing entirely. Climate change also increases the appearance of more violent weather phenomena: drought, fires, the death of animal and plant species, flooding from rivers and lakes, the creation of climate refugees and destruction of the food chain and economic resources, especially in developing countries. How can we avoid climate change? First, it is important to be clear that climate change cannot be avoided. We can mitigate its effects and adapt to its consequences. For example, we can fight it through the application of small and large-scale measures that help to slow down climate change. These actions are known as climate change mitigation and adaptation measures. Therefore, let us work together to mitigate greenhouse gas emissions in order to contribute to the progress of society and respond to the main challenges of sustainable development in the field of infrastructure, water and energy, leading the transition to a low-carbon economy.